Yet again, violence erupts in Mexico, raising new concerns for tourists and expats alike. Is anywhere in this country truly safe anymore?
Yes. Yes. There are plenty of places in Mexico, a plethora, a giant amount of places in Mexico that are completely safe to live in and to travel in. And I've been to many of those myself. I've been to Cancun, I've been to Puerto Vallarta. I have a home in Merida, Mexico. And by the way, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, which I think most people would think of as a decently safe place, flyover country, that kind of thing. I looked up on YouTube some videos of our local news to show you just kind of like a couple of stories that have happened just this week here.
Breaking news out of KCK, a drug deal turned into a deadly shooting over the weekend.
Tonight, a juvenile suspect's in custody for a double homicide.
Kansas City police are investigating an early Wednesday morning shooting that...
Yeah, and that wasn't even hard. That was me going to YouTube and saying, what's happened in the last week of crime in Kansas City? And it came up with all of those in half a second. But I love my hometown and I love Mexico, and trying to show people about this is kind of one of the things that I built this channel around. So let's talk about some things. Let's talk about some statistics. Let's talk about why I feel this way. And if you're one of those people that worries about it, or one of those people that feels like me where they have to defend, that's the video. Let's roll the intro. So let's be honest real quick about the point of this video, because I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, Mexico's dangerous, or oh, the United States is dangerous. And there's all the tropes that you can see on any comment section about any article that is dealing with the United States and Mexico. Between the border wall, between the shootings, between everything else that happens, there are all kinds of things that people want to debate about. And I'm all for it. Debate all that you want, but I'm here to spit a couple of facts so you understand that when you look across the border, you might be looking into a mirror more than you realize. And just to give you a clue about kind of what I did in that intro, I actually created an AI intro for that first 10 seconds. So that voice, that monologue, the video and everything, that was kind of piled together by me to look like it was from the start of a documentary.
Sorry.
Whereas the 3 news pieces that I pulled were actual news pieces from the last week in Kansas City.
Oh no.
And it's a bit of an unfair comparison because Kansas City actually does have pretty high crime rates, while Merida is the safest city in Mexico. And according to CEOWorldMagazine.com, it is the second safest city in all of North America. It's a bit of a messed up comparison if you just kind of look at it in that way, because you take the safest city versus not the safest city, and then you act like they're very similar. The only reason that they're similar is because I'm from here and I have a home in Merida, Mexico. And so I have to defend that home a lot because there are people here, as you would expect, that see the things that are presented on the news, especially 24/7 cable news, that talk about just how dangerous Mexico is. But when you really get down to the brass tacks of it, the real truth is that there are certain places in Mexico that are dangerous or more dangerous, and just like there are certain places in the United States that are more dangerous. I'm not even going to give it the time of day, but there is always like the meme that your uncle shares with the United States that if 8 cities were taken away from the United States as far as crime statistics are concerned, it would be one of the safer nations in the world. Well, they're still a part of our country and we have to own that. Just like Mexico owns the fact that they have some of those cities as well. But let's also be fair that most of the time you're talking about traveling to certain areas of Mexico, that's probably not where you're aiming. I mean, even today when I talk about the fact that we have a home in the state of Yucatan, a lot of people are unfamiliar with the city that we have a home in, even though some of them may have actually gone by cruise to the city of Progreso, which is north of our city and is home to the longest pier in the world, which is why they are able to bring cruise lines in. So a day trip to the colonial city of Merida might not be the biggest thing that they remember from their cruise, but some do recognize it and it is growing. But if you ask a lot of people, especially expats, and if you want to call them immigrants, that's fine as well. But if you want to talk about some of the cities that a lot of expats and immigrants into Mexico are familiar with, like San Miguel de Allende, Querétaro, and Puerto Vallarta, they're some of the safest cities down there as well, and almost everybody has heard of those. And they are constantly listed as some of the safest cities, not just in Mexico, but in North America. Little caveat to everything here. Always, 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 no matter where you go in this world, make sure that you absolutely know what's around you. Think about safety as much as you possibly can. can do the right things. But when we're looking at overall figures, the fact of the matter is, if you look at the top 50 most dangerous cities in the world, you're going to get freaked out about Mexico because they normally have between 17 and 20 of them. Whereas even the United States might have 7 or 8. And that's absolutely something to talk about. But when you talk about travel, I would say that most of the cities that you're talking about are not ones that are necessarily tourism centric. And let's also be honest with ourselves too. The reason that a lot of these cities are dangerous, the reason that some states are more dangerous is because they have the biggest consumer market in the world of the United States, not just consuming recliners, TVs, and avocados. They're consuming all kinds of different and illicit drugs. I don't know YouTube's thing. I've already said enough, but you get the idea. There's a consumer market, there's a facilitator, boom, boom, bam, there it goes. We've been trying to fight it for decades, if not longer. But I told you I'd give you a couple of statistics, and I'm not gonna bore you completely with them, but let me just give you a few. Now, I brought up in the beginning Merida, Mexico, and Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City is my hometown. I can show you on a map some of the places that are probably not places that you wanna go if you wanna stay safe. I can show you some of the places that are absolutely safe, and I'd walk any time of day there. And while I would love to give you that comparison to Merida, Mexico, I can honestly not say that I've ever felt in danger walking anywhere that I have. Our house is actually a little bit off the beaten path from kind of the main center of things. And you'll walk past some abandoned buildings, you'll walk past a lot of quiet areas, but in the 5 years or so that we've been going there, I have yet to feel anything negative around our area. Now, that's not to say that it couldn't happen. There could be somebody having a bad day, there could be somebody with ill intent, and that can happen. But my experience, no. So to give you a few, and I'm gonna look over here for just a second because I do wanna give you the statistics, and memorizing them is not really my biggest thing anymore. So Merida, Mexico, homicide rate 0.3 per 100,000 residents. Kansas City, same, 30.7 per 100,000, a little bit over. Overall crime rate, 64.78 per 1,000 residents for Kansas City, 24.5 for Merida. And a very telling one is this. In 2022, which is the latest day that I have here, there were 60 homicides in the Yucatan state, equating to a rate of 2.5 per 100,000. So that's the state of Yucatan, not just the city of Merida. Now, I'm not gonna look at the state of Missouri because it's not even gonna be fair, but Yucatan state, most people live in the city. But in Missouri, where you've got Kansas City and St. Louis and Columbia and Springfield, that's a bit unfair too. So I'm also going to just look at Kansas City, which is gonna tell enough of the story. And so in Kansas City, Missouri, so just the one side of the state line, Kansas City, Missouri experienced 171 homicides in 2022, making it the city's second deadliest year on record. So you can see the numbers don't bear out city to city, even though if you look at some of the safest cities in the United States, like Campton Hills, Illinois, or South Burlington, Vermont, which all of you have absolutely heard about, things might look a little better. But the thing that I will compare is that Kansas City and Merida are cities with about the same number of people. There are about 800,000, or there are between 800 and 900,000 people in the city of Merida. There are about 800 to 900,000 people in the city of Kansas City. Now, people from Kansas City watching this will say, that seems low, but the actual city of Kansas City, Missouri, as it is, has that many. We have a massive suburban sprawl. So that's why it's a little bit different. And now I'm gonna move my mic over here just a little bit so that I can bring up this nice, pretty chart that I brought up. Now, this is the February 2025 Mexico Crime Report. And as you can see, these little hexagon figures are the states. So you can see over here, Yucatan, Quintana Roo, Campeche, Tabasco, Chiapas, all those areas have different statistics that we can look at. So in Yucatan, you see the homicide rate for BC up here. All right, Baja California, and then you've got Sonora, and then you've got Sinaloa. So you can kind of see where a lot of the crime is actually happening. So if you look at Baja California, you can see homicide for Baja California annual rate and where it exactly falls. It's not great. But then you go down here to the state of Yucatan and you can see, oh, the number changed. See, the top is 9 and the top is 100. It changed dramatically. Kidnappings, extortion, all these different things. You can look at these resources anytime that you want. And I'll make sure that that specific one is down below. And I'll put a few other maps that I found as well so that you guys can kind of get an idea about what we're talking about. But the number one thing to really think about is that when we look at where we're traveling, we can always find articles that say some negative things and say some horrible things. I saw something the other day that said that Portugal was like a third world country. I traveled there 2 years ago. It's a beautiful place. I've heard Italy and everywhere that it feels like I'm going, I've had voices that have stated really negative things about them. But when I've traveled to Costa Rica, Italy, Portugal, Costa Rica, wherever it might be, It's been a wonderful experience. And they don't show the beautiful imagery of Cancun or Merida or Progreso or wherever it might be in Mexico. They rarely show the beaches and everything. They just show you the police lights, like I kind of tricked you in with AI in the beginning of this. Sorry about that. But they'll show you those things. But also with Kansas City, if I just told you about the murder rate and the homicide rate and how bad things can possibly be in the worst areas, that would be awful. But they don't show you the beauty that I've seen. They don't show you the amazing places you can go and things you can see. And that's flyover country. Imagine if the only thing that you thought about Chicago was the crime rate and you never saw Wrigley Field or the Sears Tower or any of the downtown area that is so dramatically beautiful. New York is known all over the world as this amazing city where you can hear any language on earth, get any type of food on earth, and have the most eclectic experience that a human possibly can for actual humans. But if you only looked at, yeah, the burglaries are bad, you'd never go. Being a visitor is about always keeping an eye on where you are because you don't know the city. If you're living somewhere, if you choose to live somewhere, enjoy it and love it. But don't look at a foreign country through the eyes of somebody who's either bigoted or has never been. Try to talk to the people that have actually been there, and I guarantee outside of maybe a bad experience at an all-inclusive or a hotel, or in Merida, let's give it a fair shake, the sidewalks kind of stink. That's just fair. Paseo de Montejo, perfect. Plaza Grande, amazing. Step a block outside of that and anybody will tell you their sidewalks not the best. Just like in Kansas City, I can tell you if you want to get anywhere, get ready to rent a car or get an Uber because our public transportation is not great at all. There are always going to be negatives, but focus on the positives and you will find some amazing things. And if you guys have any questions about that, please feel free to look down below. I have all of my contact information, including a text line, including all of my social media. My email address is down there. My website is down there. Contact me in any way you want. Comment on this video like so many of you did last week, which was great most of the time. Had a couple of negative Nancy's in the group. But I always enjoy that, and I'm always happy to share our experience and travel just in general. If you have a question about Mexico, ask me about Mexico. If you have a question about Costa Rica, Italy, Portugal, or the 900 other places where it feels like we've been able to go, ask that too. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Feel free to also join the group. If you're traveling to our place, Merida, Mexico, Facebook/groups/travel, the number 2 Merida, that contact information is down below too. Join the group and get into the conversation. We have a home down there, went through the entire renovation process. It was amazing. And we absolutely love not just the state of Yucatan and not the Yucatan Peninsula, but all of Mexico. It's an amazing place that you should absolutely visit. I feel the same way about people in the United States. I know there's a lot of negativity going around right now. That ain't me, babe. So here we are. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, my name is Alexander Howell. This is my channel. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, peace.